What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Protocol Pegasus here, bringing it back in Remnant from the Ashes with my Vampiric Assault build. So without further ado, let's get into this. So opening up my character sheet here, I am using the Pride of the Iskal. I probably butchered that, but you get the point. This is going to be my sidearm. Basically what this does is that it launches 4 beetles that will fly towards the enemy within 10 meters and land on them, healing me for about 100 health over the course of 5 seconds. Once full, they will fly back and heal the hero, which is fantastic. From there, I'm using the primary weapon called the Assault Rifle. Once again, I still think this is one of the best weapons in the course of the game, and if you don't have your hands on this weapon, I recommend going about getting it ASAP, especially right before the release of the new DLC that actually launches tomorrow. So be sure to get this rather quick. From there, the weapon mod I am using is called Flicker Cloak. Flicker Cloak is basically going to surround me with a magical shield, absorbs 100% of their max health and damage. So basically, I just become an unstoppable tank for like the next 10 seconds, which is fantastic. Which allows me to use Smolder, which puts me in more of a melee perspective, so I can melee him down, not worry about taking too much damage, and still be able to capitalize on everything. So Smolder is going to be able to basically give them the burning status effect, which will then apply more damage, which will also allow me to synergize with some of my amulets here, which I'll get into momentarily. From there, I'm using the Twisted set. This is basically to give me the ability to regenerate my health. It also gives me the ability to stack weapon mod damage output, and also gives me the ability to stack melee damage as well, up to 10 times. Basically, as long as I'm at full health, I can continuously stack this, which is fantastic. And as you can see, it's the same across all of these. The amulet I'm using is the Amulet of, not pronouncing that, but basically what this does is it increases mod power generation by 15%. When attacking an enemy with an active status effect, mod power generation is increased by an additional 30%. So when I'm attacking with Smolder, I end up applying a burning effect, or when I am... Smolder would be it. That will apply a burning effect, which will then increase this regeneration from 15% to 30%, which is very nice. From there, I'm using Blood Font. This will basically give me health regeneration per second and also increase my healing efficiency by 15%. And then I am using my Island's Band, basically increases my health by 25 and my health regeneration by a little bit. As you can clearly tell with the Twisted Hood set and the 2 rings I'm currently wearing, this all stacks. So these will all go about increasing my overall health regeneration by a significant margin when paired together, which is very, very nice. So basically this build concept is based around the idea of healing. And I'll show you what I mean momentarily. If we dive a little bit into traits, one of the absolute most important trait that I highly recommend within the course of this build is going to be... One moment. This guy here, which is healing effectiveness by 100%. Basically, you'll amplify your healing output by a tremendous amount, which will allow you to go about getting more and more health. Then from there, the rest can be as followed. You can go about getting armor efficiency. You can also go about getting your mod power generation. You can also go about getting your vigor, your endurance, and so on and so forth. I'm a strong believer of pretty much getting your hands onto everything within the course of the game when it comes to traits, just because all these traits can be easily capitalized no matter what build type you happen to be doing. So with all that in mind, we're going to dive into some gameplay here, and I'm going to show you exactly what this build is all about. So just give me one moment, and we will go ahead and do that. Alright, so we are here on Earth. We are on Nightmare mode. I'm going to show you exactly what this build happens to be about. Now, the cool thing about this build, if played correctly, you never drop your health below 50%. You always have 100% HP at all times, just because your massive amounts of regeneration, your healing potential with your sidearm, and so on and so forth. And then, not to mention the fact you also have your mod, which basically makes you a juggernaut for the next 10 seconds. So, at the end of the day, you are pretty much an unstoppable force to be reckoned with. You want to be very careful, however, because you can die with the course of the build, because it is Nightmare mode, so you want to be very, very cautious. But if you do end up getting surrounded or anything like that, or having a lot to go about dealing with, you have a lot of utility within the course of this build. You are also extremely mobile, which is fantastic. As you can see down below on the right hand side, you're going to have that red marker that says 10. That is going to allow you to indicate how many stacks you have to amplify your mod power damage, as well as your melee damage. Basically, every time you go about taking hits and your health happens to dwindle, you will lose 5 stacks. So if you take 2 hits, you're going to lose 5 stacks. So as you can see there, I took 2 hits and my health ended up dropping. Now I'm going to show you the potential of the healing setup here, so that way you guys got a general idea of how that works. So you can see that bugs ended up attaching onto him, and then they ended up coming back, and I ended up getting full health once again, which is very, very nice. I'm going to go ahead and back up a little bit, and I'm going to use an ammunition crate, and I'm going to get my ammo back. And then I'm going to just get rid of this bleed effect, because it's annoying. And then we're going to push on forward. I'm going to go ahead and proc this, because I have 2 archers on my butt, and I don't want to die. This is going to amplify my overall damage resistance, and I can tank those right to the face for at least 10 seconds. I'm not completely invulnerable to everything, but for 10 seconds I feel like a god. So I'm going to go ahead and keep pushing forward on him, and then we're going to go and just do more and more DPS. Now, one thing to note, the reason I did pick out the assault rifle compared to a lot of the other guns is the fact that the assault rifle is just a really well-rounded weapon, and it allows you a lot of diversity and a lot of utility in any given situation, and it's also really... well, in my opinion, really the best weapon to go about dealing with elites compared to a lot of the other weapons that are in the course of this game. So that is also something to keep in mind too if you're looking to go about doing your own build crafting, or if you're looking to go about looking into a weapon for the DLC that comes out soon. So from there, we're going to push a little bit further so I can capitalize and show you guys exactly what else the build happens to offer. And from there, we're going to go ahead and rotate out with a boss fight momentarily. But right now, I'm just going to trigger this elite here. He's going to come to me. He's going to go on the assault. I'm going to head and push him down. I'm going to swap to my sidearm here because our sidearm does massive amounts of damage, as well as AoE damage. So it's one thing to note too, if you get into a cluster, you do have AoE within the course of this build, because this sidearm does this little explosion effect, which will do a little bit of AoE damage to your enemy, which is very nice. So I'm going to keep hiding him around, and it's pretty simple to go about dealing with guys like these, especially with the build that has this much mobility in it. Because you really don't have to worry about not being able to kite them. You can kind of just kite around them and you're still perfectly fine. The only ones that give you a little bit of trouble would be the gunner guys in this world, just because of the fact they have a little bit of range, but if you kite around an object, you'll be pretty good. So from here, I'm actually going to go about cutting the video so I can show you guys an epic boss fight and show you guys how this build performs in an actual boss encounter. So just give me a few minutes and we will get to that. Alright guys, and we are back here on a boss fight. I'm going to poke him a little bit and then run this way. I can hear him drag his sword behind me, so I'm going to keep kiting him a little bit until he catches up to me and hits me in the back. Alright, so now that I got some footing here, I'm going to go ahead and heal real quick whenever he decides to show back up. And then I'm going to just keep rolling out of his way. And I'm going to do a little bit of DPS damage, wait for my heal to come back, and then from there I'm going to kite him around some more. Now with this fight, I know that there's going to be a lot of rot, so I'm going to go ahead and heal up. So, one thing to keep in mind when it comes to this build at the end of the day is that you do have a lot of mobility that I did mention before. So from there, kiting is pretty easy. But in Nightmare mode, you always want to kite around objects so that way you don't have to worry about getting blindsided by any BS that happens to come your way. With that being said too, is that just because you have a lot of healing at the end of the day and because you have an ability where it literally makes you a god for the next 10 seconds does not mean that you spam these abilities. You want to utilize them at the correct given time. And what do I mean by the correct given time? I pretty much mean when you're about to take a lot of damage, or if you're in a tight corridor or anything like that, you don't really have a choice, or whenever your health happens to be lower than 100%. Then you want to start using these. If you use them preemptively, like now, it's not really going to do you too much good, and you'll end up wasting your resources, and then from there you'll end up getting caught out, and you'll probably have them start this whole thing over again. So you want to be very cautious when it comes to that. I'm going to keep poking him down here. Oh, he ended up poking me a little bit, and I'm going to get cornered. Ah! Did not see that happening. Alright, so in this instance, I'm going to activate this here so I can go ahead and tank that. And then I'm going to go ahead and use some of my resources here to get healing back. And I don't have to worry about using anything. And since that's still up, that did nothing to me. Now I do have almost cap on rot, so I want to back up a little bit. There we go. Okay, now that I'm reset, I didn't use any healing potions or any hearts either. Which is very, very nice in that encounter. As you can clearly see, basically what happened was I was able to proc my armor, and then from there I was able to utilize my armor to get my healing back. Through my sidearm. I'm going to maneuver a little bit and get some breathing room here. I'm going to wait till he does his slash move. There we go. I'm going to swap over my sidearm because I know my sidearm doesn't have any ammunition on it. So I'm going to go ahead and just use that. I'm going to get healing up. I know a guy's on my left here. And my healing just kicked in. I'm going to keep hiding around. And we're going to keep DPSing this guy. One really cool thing is too is that the AoE explosion really doesn't do next to no damage to you, so you can always just use it at close proximity to be able to clear out some ads and not really worry about too much. Oh! Whoa! Whoa! You can see a lot's going on right now. But I'm making do with what I got. One thing to note about this build too is that when you're using your heal, you can hit the button, use the heal, hit the button again, turn it off, or you can leave it active, swap weapons, and when you swap back to it, it automatically shuts that off for you. So you don't have to worry about it. The fastest way to do it, at least for me personally, is to have the mod active, use the mod, swap weapons. This way you're not losing out on any form of DPS. I'm going to go ahead and use this. Oh! I wasn't able to clear that out in time, but I was able to get the heal off, so I didn't take any damage. Oh. And we're going to keep fighting him a little bit. Making good headway. One thing to note is, too, you want to keep really, really cautious on your ammunition. Oh. Alright, going to keep backing up here. I'm going to wait till he strikes again. I'm going to kite him around. Instead of reloading, I'm just going to swap weapons here just because I know it's going to do a lot of burst damage. And he's dead. Hallelujah.
I can't believe it.
Okay, so that's pretty much the gist of the build, guys. If you have any questions or concerns, just leave them down below in the comment section. And then from there, if you guys are watching this as of today, tomorrow is the release date of the official DLC. And if you guys wanted to catch me go live, be sure to check out my channel. But without further ado, guys, don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, and hit the bell. Check out my latest and greatest Remnant content. But that's going to be it, guys, for me. So I hope you guys enjoy your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.